right, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be working on something called compound inequalities. And this part, I believe, is new from last year. I don't think we did it in 7th grade. But anyway, a compound inequality is, it has two parts connected using the words and or. All right, so it's going to have two different parts to it. The and part means that you're going to shade between the numbers. When you're in set builder notation, you're going to only use those symbols, the less than symbol. It might be less than or equal to, depending on if that was in the problem, but we're only going to use the let then in set builder. If it's an or problem, it means that you're going to be shading away from the numbers. In set builder notation, we're not going to connect the numbers. Do not connect numbers. All right, well, let's take a look at what I mean by that. So, for example, graph each inequality, write the solution set in interval notation and set builder notation. So, here I have an and. Right, so I'm going to graph those. So on my graph, I have to show the -1 and one lower than that, and then I have to show all the way up to, oops, I didn't make it long enough, sorry, up to 4 because I need to go one beyond either one. They're going to get open circles because they don't have the or equal to sign, so that part's the same. It's an and. And means that I have to shade between the numbers. So I'm going to show in between there. All right, now let's talk about interval notation. So my answers are found between -1 and 3. So I'm not using the infinity this time. So I'm going to go from -1 to 3. They both have the open circles, which mean they get the soft brackets. All right. In set builder notation, and I'm going to put that up here just because I wrote a little too big. So in set builder notation, we still need our fancy brackets that I can't draw. X such that. Now, we're going to put the -1, the X, and the 3. Because the X has to be in between those. And then we always use the less than symbol. I don't need the or equal to because that wasn't part of the problem. All right, so that's what it looks like. It's telling me X has to be in between -1 and 3. I shaded in between -1 and 3. All right, let's try number 2. So here I have, so on my number line, I'm going to put that over here this time, so hopefully I have more room. So I have to go from -11 all the way up to -5. And then I'm going to fill in here 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, there. Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. This time the -6 is going to get a colored in circle because it has the or equal to. The 10 is going to be an open. It says and, which means I shade in between those. All right, let's do the interval notation. So on interval notation, I'm going from -10 to -6. -10 to -6. -10 is open, which means it's the soft bracket. -6 is closed. It means it's the hard bracket. Okay, set builder notation. So we have all X such that. And again, I'm going to list these values with an X in between them. And they're going to get the less thans. This one gets less than or equal to because it was closed. All right, hopefully that's making sense to you guys. All right, so let's try number 3. So in number 3, we have x is less than -4 or x is greater than 0. So I'm going to draw my number line. So we're going to have -5, -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1. And I'm going to put open circle at -4, closed circle at 0. Right? I'm still looking for those things. But this time, I'm not going to connect the 2 dots. I'm actually going to shade away from them. That's what that means when we say shade away. Okay, set builder notation. All right, so we're going to actually have 2 groups of set builder notation here. I need a group for this one and a group for this one. So here we're going from -infinity to -4, right, just like we did before. And then we have 0 to positive infinity. 0's colored in, it gets the hard brackets. Infinity always gets the soft brackets. Set builder notation. So we're going to have all x such that, and you list both of these. So we're going to have x is less than -4 or x is greater than or equal to 0. All right, let's try the next one. Number 4. So we have, my number line has to be pretty long here. So -6, -5, -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I get a closed circle at -5. I get an open circle at 2. It says or, which means I'm shading away from the 2 dots. Like shading towards the outside, however you'd like to think of it. So in interval notation, I'm going from -infinity to -5. Soft bracket, hard bracket, because it's colored in. And then I'm going from 2 to positive infinity. Open circle, soft bracket, infinity is always soft bracket. And then in set builder notation, all x such that x is less than or equal to -5 or x is greater than 2. All right, write the interval notation and set builder notation for the following. All right, so interval notation. So I'm going from 1 to 3. 1 to 3. They are both open circles, so they get soft brackets. Set builder notation. I'm going to use x. You guys know I'm boring. X such that. So we have 1, x in the middle, 3. And they both get less thans, no or equal tos, because they're both open circles. Number 6, we're going from -infinity to -3. Soft bracket for -infinity, hard bracket for -3. Then we're going from 1 to positive infinity. Hard bracket because it's colored in. Infinity is always a soft bracket. Set builder notation, right? All x such that. So this means x is less than or equal to -3 or x is greater than or equal to 1. Whew, chlorine in a pool must be at least 1 part, ppm stands for parts per million. That's a thing you're going to learn more about when you take chemistry at high school. And no greater than 3 parts per million. Graph and write it in interval notation. So let's see what we're talking about. I don't know why I made that so big. So it has to be at least this, meaning it can be that, so we're going to color it in. And no greater than 3. So it can't be 3, right? But it can be anywhere in between. Actually, it can be 3. I'm sorry. No greater than means it can be 3. This can't be bigger than that. All right, so there's my graph. That might help you to do this. So write it in interval notation. So we're going between 1 and 3. They both get hard brackets because they're colored in. Set builder notation. I'm going to be boring again. You know this. X such that. We have 1, we have x, we have 3. Less thans, they're colored in, so they get the or equal tos. Okay? Questions? Bring them to class. Hopefully this is pretty easy for you guys. Have a good night.